Ladies and gentlemen, welcome today to another edition of NASCAR Thunder 2004 on the channel. We are at the Watkins Glen International for a road course race here today. Just got done with qualifying practice, all that good stuff to try and find a setup that was right for this road course. And let me tell you, it is going to be one heck of a race in my opinion. We got the car handling a little bit better. I don't know exactly how fast we're going to run with this because I didn't exactly run with this setup, but I feel like it's the right way to go. We were a little tight in practice and a little tight in qualifying. Still had a good qualifying effort, qualified third, but Ryan Newman looks really, really fast today. Tony Stewart qualified on the pole once again. Tony Stewart comes into today's race with a 118-point lead over the guy in second place, which would be Ryan Newman. Dale Jarrett, after a DNF yesterday, ended up falling back actually to third in the standings, and he is now right back to almost 200 points out once again. So Stewart's got a massive points lead. Darren Dill, welcome to the stream. So we're going to take you through today's starting lineup and key points for the race.
The NASCAR Winston Cup Series made a right turn today on its way to Watkins Glen International for today's race, the Sirius at the Glen. The Glen is a road course that can be quite a challenge to these drivers. Isn't that right, Barney?
Well, the Glen is quite fast for a road course. The problem is getting these big, heavy cars to handle well through the tight turns. A missed braking point can spell disaster for these drivers if they shoot through a corner too fast.
Greg Biffle, who's currently in the top 10 in points, will try to reach that next step, the top 5.
I had a chance to talk to him this morning, and he's looking forward to this race. He feels they have a very strong car that can pick up some more points this week. We'll keep an eye on him.
Jimmy Johnson had a very scary moment at the Glen in 2000.
He certainly did. That was one of the scariest wrecks we've seen over the last few seasons. But those soft walls in turn one did the job, and he was able to walk away.
Since the last race of the season, the final road course race of the year of the 4 we have on this custom scheduled NASCAR Thunder 04 season is about to begin. We'll take things with the front row. Tony Stewart on the pole for the second consecutive race again comes in with a 118-point lead. Mark Martin will be starting in second. In row number 2, we've got Greg Biffle and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Biffle coming off a win at Lowe's Motor Speedway yesterday. Jr. with 2 wins on the year, trying to win on a road course. Jerry Nadeau and Dale Jarrett will be in row 3. We mentioned Jarrett DNF'd yesterday, finished 40th, looking for a bounce-back performance today. In row number 4, Sterling Marlin and Steve Park. Both drivers winless this year. Marlin, though, has been a lot closer to victory lane than what Park has been. In row number 5, we've got a couple of road course ringers. Ricky Rudd won at Watkins Glen the first race here earlier this year, and Robbie Gordon, outside of him, road course ringer, has a couple career wins on road courses in NASCAR. Jeremy Mayfield and Kenny Wallace will be in row 6. In row number 7, it'll be Ryan Newman and Kevin Harvick. Harvick, the Daytona 500 winner. Inside of him, Newman comes in second in the point standings once again, trailing Stewart by 118. Kurt Busch and Bobby Labonte will be in row number 8. Behind those guys in row number 9, we've got Elliott Sadler and Ricky Craven. And behind those guys in row number 10, we've got Ward Burton and Jamie McMurray. Burton started last in yesterday's race, came all the way up to finish in the top 5 at the end of the day. Pretty good run there. Rusty Wallace and Mike Skinner will be in row number 11. Wallace has been pretty inconsistent this year. We'll see if he can try to find victory lane for the first time. Jeff Gordon does have 2 wins on the year. He's a really good road course racer. Look out for him. Jeff Burt will start outside in row 12. In row 13, it'll be Joe Nemechek and Ken Schrader. And behind those guys in row number 14 today, we've got Matt Kenseth and Bill Elliott. Elliott with a pretty good run yesterday. Going a little off strategy at the end of the race at Charlotte. Didn't get the finish he probably deserved. Casey Mears, Brett Bodine will be in row 15. And behind those guys in row number 16, we have Jack Sprague, the rookie, and outside of him, another young gun, Jimmy Johnson, in the field. And Johnson has been close to going to victory lane, but he's had a lot of DNFs as of late. Can't have one here today. Barely sitting in the top 10 of the point standings now. Jeff Green and David Green will be in row number 17. No relation between those two drivers. Ashton Lewis and Kevin LePage will be in row number 18. Behind those guys in row number 19 will be Stanton Barrett and Terry Labonte. In row 20, we've got Kyle Petty and Michael Waltrip. Neither one of those two really known for their road course success, so we'll see how they'll do from the rear of the field today. Johnny Benson and Hermie Sadler will be in row 21, and rounding out the field in row 22, all by himself, it'll be Christian Fittipaldi. Ethan, welcome to the stream as well. Here we go, 90 laps at the Glen here today. Green flag is about to wave. Tony Stewart will lead everybody to the start. Hard on the brakes into turn one, side by side for second. Stewart got a really good launch though out in front of the field, and he's looking to do what he did yesterday as lead the very beginning of the race. We'll see if anybody can catch him. Very treacherous area of the racetrack to be running side by side, but they get through there 2x2 for the first time today with the double file initial start. Mark Martin might be looking to make a move on Dale Jr. with him pulling down. Oh, wow, Biffle went way wide. Oh, Dale Jarrett's in the wall. Coming out of the bus stop, he got back to the gas too soon. Jerry Nadeau is going to get to his inside now for position. Junior trying to run down Tony Stewart at the front of the field after passing Martin, who went a little wide himself on the bus stop. Martin tried to drive it in a little deeper there, and that forced Biffle to not be able to make the pass on Martin as well. And Tony Stewart is going to lead lap 1 when we come off of the final turn, turn 11 here at Watkins Glen. At least according to this game, this track has 11 turns. I would say it's got 7. Tony Stewart will lead lap 1. Biffle DNF'd in the first Watkins Glen race earlier this season on lap 4, but already things are a little bit better for him. He did start at the rear in that race, though, so that obviously probably cost him a little bit of time, I'd have to imagine. Really loose exiting the S's up the hill there. Wow, Jarrett wide again, this time on entrance to the bus stop. Like he might have went out in the sand. Jerry Nadeau into the top 5 now. Great run for him early. Stewart already out ahead. That's got to be scaring a lot of the field right now. He's really good on road courses in his career as well. Rivalry renewed with him and Biffle as well after the race at Charlotte yesterday. Biffle's already 2 seconds off the race lead. He's trying to hang with the top 4. It's so hard to pass in this game. When you come to the road courses, it's a lot of the same. The AI, obviously, we know they block a lot. And to do that on a road course, it doesn't feel like there's as much stability help in the race cars themselves. It can make for a very interesting day. A lot better through the bus stop that time than the first couple laps of the race for Greg Biffle. Slides the tires quite a bit there in turn number 5. Oh, jeez. Biffle overturned. Turn number 6, he got to the exit of the corner and just kept turning. That was just my fault for looking away from the screen and trying to look at the chat. Biffle's starting to lose sight of the top 3. Very minor mistakes. I mean, that's all it takes to lose time. especially on a track like this. Mark Martin still trying to get around Dale Jr. Martin qualified second. Jr. got around him in the bus stop. Great job by him by just simply staying side by side with him for a very long time. Pit strategy coming into today's race. We don't know exactly how far we can go on fuel because we wrecked out of the race before the first pit stop last time. I'd have to imagine if these guys can go 30 laps on fuel, then it would be a two-stop race, obviously. It would dissect it, pitting right around lap 30, lap 60, and then going to the end of the race from there. But we have no clue exactly if that will be the case. We'll just have to wait and see how far this first run can go before that starts to get put into question.
Leaders out front by 3.5 seconds.
Biffle's 3.5 seconds off the lead. Wants to run hard. Stewart leading a lot of laps early. That's going to be troublesome because this is only a 90-lap race. It's the least amount of laps in a single race all season. Well, at least tied for the least with the other Watkins Glen race we had. Again, this is a custom schedule season on NASCAR Thunder 04. Probably the more treacherous road course between this and Infineon as far as the actual road courses that were used in 2003. With this game, at least. You would say Sonoma would probably be a little bit harder than Watkins Glen in today's games, but for whatever reason, this one doesn't seem that way. Biffle did loosen his car up again. He was a little tight in practice and qualifying. Ghost Destroyer, welcome to the stream. On the brakes in turn 6 again. It's the best way to try and get it to turn is to just lock the brakes up. For whatever reason, trying to tap the brakes and it doesn't slow up in time, so you really got to lock the brakes, but it's like that with most tracks in this game. So otherwise, it's really going to just want to push up the racetrack. Something that took me about a quarter of the season to try and figure out with pretty much every track that we went to that we had high braking zones, whether it was a short track or a road course. This is the one good thing with New York. This is definitely a good thing with New York. Upstate New York's beautiful, too. I mean, just the scenery around this racetrack is beautiful from what I saw a couple of years ago. Or I should say last year, technically. 2019. Obviously, they didn't race here in 2020 due to COVID. That's why the Daytona Road Course got placed on the schedule last season. Kind of last second. So they could at least keep 2 road course races. They were already losing one. They didn't want to lose a second one. 3.9 off the lead. I mean, Biffle's still losing time to Stewart. Stewart is pulling away from Dale Jr. And even Jr. is slowly starting to gap Mark Martin here. It seems like by a couple car lengths. And Biffle's almost closing in on Mark Martin and Dale Jr. again, but Tony Stewart is just on it here today. Biffle hasn't made a pass, obviously, not only in this race, but nor in practice. Any of the practice sessions, whether it was the normal one or happy hour. There was not an opportunity for Biffle to make a pass, and he actually got passed on the opening lap by by Dale Jr. Jr. not only went from the second row to second place on the initial lap, but remember, he started 4th. Biffle qualified 3rd. Just didn't take off. Gap 24, welcome to the stream. That was a really good corner in turn 1 that time. It's the only thing with the car being a little loose. You can see that the car still wiggles a lot on corner exit. You saw Biffle make a little contact off of turn 6 at the wall because of it as well. You just got to hope over the course of the long run. He only ran 13 laps in practice. Practice a pit stop a couple of times too. Kind of tricky to get onto pit road off of turn 7 here and get the car slowed up. Good news is the speed limit's 70 miles an hour due to this game. Every single racetrack it is 70 miles an hour for the speed limit. So we don't have to really worry about backing it up to 35 to 40 miles an hour like you would have to now. Today's games. Junior is starting to reel Stewart in again. Tony was pulling away there for a little bit. Biffle's still trying to reel in Mark Martin. I mean, they're very small gains of what he's making right now. Biffle was 1/10 of a second quicker than Stewart that last lap, so not much. Already to lap 9 in this one. This race is going to fly by today. We might be done by 2 o'clock. Car gets a little skatey, it looks like, on the 16 when he's going uphill through the S's. It's the biggest elevation change on the racetrack. Rocking up in the bus stop. Can't really explode right through the center of it like he wants to either. It's weird. The car's looser on corner exit, but it's still really tight getting in. Might have to bump up the air pressure a little bit. Yeah, Packers won last night, 24-16. They scored 3 touchdowns on the first 3 possessions, and they didn't score again until Crosby hit a field goal with like 4 minutes left in the game. The defense alone was just playing so good for Carolina last night in the second half in particular. It's the only questionable thing I have with Matt LaFleur's play calling too, is because they get out to early leads, and then they just kind of like to sit on the ball and try to like milk the clock as much as they can instead of keeping the pressure on. And like that's why we blow big leads. The thing is though, we blow big leads, but we still finish the game off, except for Indianapolis. I mean, that was the only game that we didn't finish it off. But an instance like that where you can't let that happen, they continue to let that happen. Mainly because when a team's also playing from behind, our secondary is like the only thing going for us. Can't get the pass rush on. Our rush defense in general is just terrible. We had a couple turnovers on our side last night from Bridgewater that kind of got lucky on too. Yeah, I watched the end of that Alabama-Florida game last night, too. That was pretty intense. Once the Packers game was over, that game was still going on. Biffle has reeled in Mark Martin, Tony Stewart, after Junior was closing in on him there for a little bit. Has pulled away a couple car lengths, at least while Biffle hard into the bus stop, trying to gain time. A little contact with his teammate. Martin tries to shove him back up the racetrack. And now he's upset with his teammate. Biffle made the initial contact and Martin hit him back. Trying to make a block. Biffle's all over the back of the 6 now. Gonna try to outbrake him into turn 6. Gets underneath him. Oh, Martin just door checks him again. Another hit. My goodness. Biffle cannot get around his teammate. Now he washes up into the grass. Somehow kept it off the wall. He doesn't want to wreck his teammate, but his teammate's willing to wreck him, it looks like. Biffle just cannot get around Mark Martin. Biffle's a lot closer in the championship hunt than what Martin is, as he's had a rough season outside of the one win he's had this year. Biffle just can't get alongside of him, and look at how much time they've lost to both Stewart and Junior. Into the ball stop, Biffle trying to outbrake him again, and he turns him! Oh, he turned him! Biffle had enough, and he turns his teammate, Mark Martin, in the middle of the bus stop. The caution's going to wait. Now, at the same time, it wasn't exactly intent. The finish of the spin was intentional. Once he got hooked, I just kept turning him on purpose. But He threw a block going in there again. I kind of got, that was the initial contact, but once I was hooked on him, I just decided to turn him at that point. I had enough. But caution's out for the first time today at lap 12. Stewart in the lead still. Martin goes around. Now he backed it back up. I don't know if anybody else made contact with him or not. No, it looks like everybody else was able to break in time and miss him. So Martin was the only one involved in that accident. He actually raced back to the caution flag in fifth still, so he only lost 2 spots because of it. Biffle was not having it there. And he's going to stay out of the pits trying to keep the track position here. And it looks like everybody's staying out of the pits. Again, it's likely a 2-stop race. I think they're going to wait until about lap 30. This will get them a little closer to that. Stewart continues to lead, though. Green flag back in the air at the Glen. Biffle trying to block Dale Jarrett now. Going into turn 1, Martin looks to the outside of Jarrett. I'm not sure if the outside's going to work there as they all stay single file through turn 1. So Junior's right to the back bumper of Stewart again. Loses a little ground off of turn 1 through the S's now. Boy, if Martin was hard to pass, just wait till Biffle tries to get around Stewart. Not only Stewart's got the clean air, but Dale Jr.'s blocking Greg Biffle now for second. Oh, and a little bump and run. Junior gets him back. Biffle clears him. Tried to block him once. That was fair. The second time, not so much. One way to do it, I guess. Biffle tried to back the corner up, and he still made contact with Junior. I think Junior was trying to do the same thing and keep Biffle from getting around him, but the bump and run worked out that time. They're still pretty neutral with each other, too, so that's a good thing. Biffle trying to stay in the draft of Tony Stewart. Down the longest straightaway of the racetrack, the main straightaway. Now into the high-braking 90-degree turn 1. Biffle barely staying on the track there, using that curbing. A little loose, helped the car turn a little bit as well. So this is going to be the interesting scenario is right here. Tony Stewart, Greg Biffle, one-on-one. Biffle gains a little bit of time there in the S's. Has a run on him. Stewart trying to block. Biffle going to back the bus stop up now, and he's going to try to gas it in the center. And he's going to get alongside Stewart. Stewart door checks him. Biffle, though, to the lead. Oh, man. Well, Stewart tried to give him a shot there. Biffle goes a little wide off turn 5, but he's all right. Keeps it on the track. Wasn't easy, but he's going to get to the lead, and he's likely going to lead that first lap of the race, I'd have to imagine, at the line. This will get him 5 bonus points. Biffle trying to break the draft now down the main straightaway. Halfway on fuel. These guys might not be able to make it to lap 30. I'd have to imagine somebody's going to, though. Just have to see. Because we've had a caution. And even that, well, I don't know. Lap 17, we had a caution. It's going to be close. It's going to be a fuel mileage race here today, ladies and gentlemen. Got to make it to at least lap 30 over the course of each run. Last time we had a fuel mileage race, it came down to the wire. Biffle ran out off of turn 4 at Chicagoland, and Gordon ran right in the back of him coming across the start-finish line at the end of the race. Biffle leads at the Glen. Stewart led the first 16 laps of the race. We have a slow car that has blown an engine on the racetrack. Not sure who that is. Well, we've got debris. Second caution of the race now at lap 19. Greg Biffle's right front fenders come off the race car, and he's going to have to last enough to make it to pit road. Somebody still slow. Biffle almost ran into Stanton Barrett. Into the bus stop, who has already blown an engine. Wow. That was not a good spot for him to be sitting either. Oh no, they're... Okay, so that caution came out in the middle of some guys getting to the start-finish line. I see now. Biffle slides into turn 6, so they're going to race back to the caution flag at lap 20. Biffle's still going to have the lead. Man, it's going to be a tough decision for Biffle. Oh, gets into the wall. Off of turn 7. So the right front fenders come off the 16. That brings out a caution for debris. It's the second caution in the early going of the race. Biffle's got to stay out. He's got a lot of damage to the right front, but he's going to have the clean air on the restart. Start so far ahead of Ryan Newman, even in this race alone. Trying to grow the points lead out even more. Green flag back in the air again. This could be dangerous here. Stewart down low. Biffle tries to block him into turn 1, and Stewart tries to move him. Stewart tried to move Greg Biffle, and he got him out of the way for the moment. But Biffle hangs on. He doesn't want Stewart to get alongside of him, especially on his right side, because if he takes another large hit to the right front, his day is going to come to an end. Steve Stewart tries to get him here into the bus stop. Biffle got through there perfectly. A little wide there in turn 5. Gets the power down, though. Biffle trying to get away. So hard to pass here. Biffle did not want to pit under the caution to repair the right front, especially having the lead. Is that... Oh, another hit there to the right front. A little mistake in turn 7. That brings Stewart to the back bumper of Biffle again. Plus, he's getting more laps led when he's out in front because he's got to catch Stewart there if he wants to lead the most by the end of the day. He goes wide. Stewart again tries to turn him in turn 1, or at least move him out of the way. Stewart drives it into turn 1 so deep. And Biffle continues to try and hang on for the lead. Pulls him in the S's once again. Into the bus stop. Biffle seems to get through that really well.
I'd be real surprised if he don't try something. Longer on that left front tire.
Going to alternate to the different camera angles one more time, well, at least for the first time, I should say, here today at the Glen at lap 25 now. Stewart was a little bit too far behind to try and run it a little deeper there into turn 1. Biffle ran a little wide, but falling behind. The car's starting to get tighter and tighter for Biffle over the course of the run, so instead of getting looser on the older tires, it's getting tighter. Diamond Jeff, welcome to the stream. Really good through the bus stop again. Again, Biffle doesn't have a huge lead right now over Tony Stewart, who's still in second and hitting his marks. You wonder who's going to be the first to hit pit road as well. That could be interesting if Tony tries to short pit once we get to lap 30. Some of these guys are going to try to take it a little bit further as well. It's really tough to tell. A 2.5 second lead, because that could be the difference in the track position game. Somebody getting right back around. Biffle trying to go for back-to-back wins for the 4th time this year, if he can do it. It'd be his 14th career win and 14th win of the season if he can also hold that feed off. And just have to wait and see. He's getting low on fuel. I'm sure he's going to want to take it past lap 30 if he can as well, because that's only going to mean he's going to have more of a shot of making it on 2 pit stops today. I guarantee you we're going to see some guys pitting right at lap 30 to try and gain track position by short pitting. But again, those 2 cautions we've already had. Oh, man. At least it's a hit to the left side of the race car for Biffle's sake. I'm sure he'd prefer no hits to the race car, but he just needs to keep that right side clean. Merry early Christmas as well, Jeff. Wow. How bumpy this track is as well, even going uphill through the S's. I'm not sure when the last time Watkins Glen was repaved. So that could be playing into effect as well. Could be a much older surface. I'm not entirely sure. It does seem like it is a little choppy. So again, 1 driver out of the race. Stanton Barrett has blown an engine. 42 cars on the lead lap and on the racetrack still up to this point. See if we have any takers this time by. It's out to about a 4-second lead. Again, I do have stability help on for those of you that are seeing that glow. Not gonna lie, it's still really loose at some points, really tight at others. It doesn't do a whole lot on this game, I'm not gonna lie, but that's just so we can have a shot to maybe make it the entire race. Lap 30. We'll see if anybody's coming to pit road. These guys all could be thinking the same thing, too, of let's just stretch this run out as far as we can and then maybe short pit on the last stop of the race. Or the second stop. I don't know if we're going to get any more cautions today as well, because that's very well possible. That could happen. We actually had a really bad wreck in practice that I luckily avoided. Robbie Gordon had blown an engine. And he was coasting along the racetrack, and going into turn 6, he just got clobbered by Kevin Harvick. Wow, Biffle went wide there. Cut it back in before that point where the wall sticks out right there. Would have been a hard impact head-on. Once Biffle got out in front and got that track position, things have been a lot better for him. So our first comers to pit road, lap 30. No surprise here as the pit window is open to making this a 2-stop race here today. Biffle's getting pretty low on fuel himself. He's looking to stretch it out as far as he can. He has about a 4-second lead back to Tony Stewart. Portman Plays, welcome to the stream. No, I didn't have the camera on at that time. It was a pretty bad accident, though. Robbie Gordon's... We came back around the next lap, and Robbie Gordon's car was on fire, and there was debris everywhere. It was crazy, because I had to battle back through that, too. So that's when I ended the practice session, because they wouldn't move his car off the racetrack, so... It was just parked right in the middle of turn 6, so I just finished that lap up, and when I exited out of there, we qualified, and then after qualifying, it went right into happy hour, got a little bit more practice in. So there's some faster lap cars with those fresh tires. I'd assume they're going to be faster with the fresh tires. Kyle Petty already trying to make a move. Oh, wow, Petty went wide. Keeps it on the track. Oh, now he's in the wall. So Kyle Petty went wide going into the bus stop. Then he went wide on the exit, got into the wall. We're at lap 32 right now. Again, how far can Tony Stewart go? We've got just about 1.5 gallons of fuel left. Biffle will take at least one more lap. You definitely don't want to run out of fuel here because, you're going to be lucky just to get back around to pit road, depending on where you run out of gas on the racetrack. Well, that's how Biffle DNF back at Infineon earlier this season, where caution came out, ran out of gas under caution, in fact. Definitely got to be careful how far we stretch it. And there's a good chance he'll be coming to pit road this time. It is lap 33, so he's made it 3 laps longer than what he's had to. Still got 1.2 gallons of fuel left. We'll see if they'll be able to make it back around. Again, there's 22 gallons in the tank, so if you do your math... Granted, it's hard to do the math, though, because we've had 6 caution laps already with 2 cautions. Biffle really wants to stretch this as long as he can. He's got a gallon of fuel left. He's going to try to stretch it one more lap, so Biffle will be coming at lap 34. Got lap cars in front of him, which obviously is going to hinder the handling of the car. Tony Stewart has come to pit road at least 2 or 3 laps ago. Because Dale Jr.'s up to second. Stewart's really nowhere to be found right now, so I'd have to imagine he was on pit road. Rusty Wall's coming out of the pits as Biffle will get on by him now. Uphill through the S's. As long as Biffle runs out of gas going into turn 6, he'll be able to coast it to pit road. Obviously, it's going to be time lost if he does that. Still got about a half a gallon of fuel left. Half a lap now to get back to pit road. Wow, Rusty Wallace in the wall. We've seen about 3 or 4 drivers get into the wall off the exit of the bus stop already today. Crazy. So it creates a little bit of separation now behind Biffle. So he'll be coming to pit road this time. So he's able to make it back around that extra lap. Got to make sure he doesn't speed now. Oh, no! Man, that was really close. It's tough to tell exactly how much he was speeding by. A speeding penalty on pit road for Greg Biffle. 5-second penalty. It's not that crucial because it's only 5 seconds, but it will very likely cost him the lead, and he needs to get laps led. It's going to be a timely pit stop. They've got some damage to repair. I mean, he was really close to 70 miles. And now there's problems on the right front. The tire changer, this is the second race in a row we've seen problems on a pit stop. This is a slow stop. It was about 20 seconds as it was. Now the penalty, which was 5 seconds. Wow. It's going to be interesting to see where Biffle cycles after this, because he is going to lose a lot of time. It was a slow stop plus the speeding penalty. He's in second place right now. Not sure who's in the lead. I'd have to imagine it's Tony Stewart. He's short pitted. I mean, look at how far ahead he is even. Biffle's going to have about 5 lap fresher tires than Stewart. That'll make a difference for the first 5 laps, and then it'll even out likely after that. So he really has to gain that time back, and that's really tough because if he didn't have the speeding penalty, he might have came out with the lead still, despite the fact Stewart's short pitted. The worst thing is, too, yes, the damage is repaired now, so there's not heavy damage on the 16 anymore. But he's going to have to pass a guy that's a rival with him again. Biffle might wreck him for it because Stewart did try to take him out already once in this race. So we'll have to see how that's going to work. But Stewart's back out in front again. It's tough to tell who's led the most laps. I think Tony's led the most by a couple laps over Biffle, so that's another crucial point of why Stewart's leading. That's going to get him closer to leading the most laps. He's already barely ahead of Biffle. Why do I keep driving in the grass? If you haven't played this game before, it's so hard to keep the car on the track as it is, so when you come to the road courses, you take any advantage you can get. That, I'm not really trying to cut in the grass either. It's so hard to keep the car straight, even with a little bit of stability. Tim Irvin, welcome to the stream. Oh, we've got a caution. Oh, wow, trouble. In turn 6 again. Heavy damage. I think Tony Stewart ran into the back of him. Wow, that could be very interesting here. Stewart's going to beat the race back to the caution flag at least. Lap 36, our third caution of the race. And Biffle at least avoided the accident too. Oh, he did. Wow, Jeff Gordon. Gordon had blown an engine and Stewart piled right into him. Unbelievable. So how much damage does Tony Stewart have now? They just pitted, so I would imagine everybody's going to stay out of the pits here. Try to stay on the two-stop strategy. Stewart has... Wow, Stewart's got heavy damage to the front of his race car. He is still running, though. But heavy damage. Green flag back in the air. Lap 40 as Stewart leads here at the Glen. Biffle trying to block Harvick, who had a fast car in practice today as well. Biffle was third in practice time. Harvick was second. Happy hour, that is. Newman had the fastest time. Stewart wasn't on the track at the time, but obviously qualified on the pole. He's led the most laps up to this point. So here we go. Stewart's got heavy damage. That's got to hinder his speed, you'd have to imagine. And Biffle's looking for maybe a little bit of retaliation and trying to pass him as well. Oh, wow. Biffle got tight. In the bus stop, Harvick trying to make a pass. And he does on the outside. Biffle went wide getting into the bus stop. Harvick trying to block him now, and Kevin Harvick is trying to go for the lead for the first time today. Day so far so good. Harvick is all over Stewart. I think Stewart's a little slower. Biffle tries to boot him. Now trying to cross him over in turn 7. Biffle goes a little wide. He drove it in deep. Now he's trying to shake Bobby Labonte. He was trying to draft him. Biffle hard into turn 1. He stuck it really well. gains a little time again. Stewart trying to block Harvick now. 50 laps to go at Watkins Glen. Yep, Biffle was able to get to victory lane yesterday at Charlotte. So trying to go for back-to-back today. Stewart, the points leader, out in front. A little bit of damage after that caution that came out with him getting into Jeff Gordon. But he's still running, and now Harvick goes a little wide. Oh, Harvick just slams back into Biffle. Put him in the wall. Here comes Labonte again. Biffle trying to cross Harvick over. And caution. Wow. Biffle just missed. Oh, he drove too soon into turn 7. Back into Labonte. A little wide. Here comes Junior now as they race back to the caution flag. Stewart continues to lead. Biffle loses another spot. That was a train wreck in turn 7 for Biffle. Stewart's hood came off. Harvick ran it over. He seems to be all right. He went wide after running over the debris, but his tires are okay. And Greg Biffle almost ran it over, which likely would have blown his tire. We saw that at Darlington this year when he ran over debris and it blew a tire. So now Stewart still hangs on. We have our 4th caution of the race, 2nd for debris today. Stewart's getting more laps led under caution with staying out of the pits. He's trying to lead the most. Biffle lost a couple spots there, and we have another restart on lap 45. Biffle just does not take off well on the restarts. Harvick to the inside of Stewart. Side by side for the lead into the S's. Junior waiting in the wings behind him. Tony trying to stick with Harvick at least. And Harvick can't get the drive off. Junior jumps to 2nd, and now Junior's going for the lead on Tony Stewart. Into the bus stop. Junior drives it in deep. Oh, Biffle to the back of Harvick. He turns him. He turns Harvick for blocking. 3 wide for the lead into turn 5. Junior stuffs Biffle down. As they race back to the caution flag, he puts him in the wall. Biffle runs him wide. They both keep it off the wall. Tries to drive it in deep now into turn 6 on Stewart, looking for the lead. Doesn't want Tony to lead any more laps under caution. A move into turn 7 now. And he puts Stewart in the wall. A little payback. Somebody piled back into Stewart. Biffle leads back to the line. What the heck just happened there? Racing like it's the last lap of the race. Oh my goodness. Harvick was able to get back on track, but he lost a ton of spots. He falls back to 10th. Stewart got put in the wall late by Biffle. They were 3 wide for the lead, and when they were 3 wide, Junior put Biffle in the wall in the guardrail. So Biffle ran him wide up the track. Barely kept it off the wall and corner exit off of turn 5. Labonte somehow in 2nd now. Oh my gosh. Chaos at Watkins Glen on the 4th caution of the race. Biffle leads. And Biffle now trying to block. Labonte also trying to block Junior, and now we have a caution, likely for debris again, if I had to imagine. Not sure who the debris is on, but we have our 5th caution of the race. Just past the halfway mark today at the Glen. So Biffle's trying to lead back to the line. Give him a few more laps led under caution as well. I'd have to assume they'd stay out. They're not in the pit window to make it on fuel to the end of the race yet. Not sure where the debris is. He's got to make sure not to run it over. I'd imagine it's on the main straight. Back to the start-finish line. He's checking up a little bit into turn 6. He's got a gap over Labonte. Junior still trying to get around Bobby. He's got one more chance before they get back to the caution flag. I don't think he's going to do it there either. Oh, it wasn't even for debris. Terry Labonte just ran right in the back of Jerry Nadeau in the 0-1, he spun himself. Not sure what Labonte was doing there. He was trying. He gained about 5 spots going into turn 1. Brings out the caution. So it wasn't even for debris. This is slowing the race pace down mightily here. I mean, this is insane. Biffle doesn't have that much damage to his race car. Lap 53 restart. Trying to block Labonte. Dale Jr. looking to the outside again here into turn 1. Still side by side for second. Now Stewart to the inside of Jr. as Labonte holds on to second. So the pit road speeding penalty, Biffle's obviously come back to take the lead now.
I'd be real surprised if he doesn't try something.
Into the bus stop. Wow, Biffle really slid the tires there. Junior goes a little wide. Cuts back in front of Stewart, holds him off. Labonte still looking for the lead into turn 5. Oh, no, it's not Exalta. It's I'm just wearing my Detroit Pistons hat for no random reason.
He may try to pay you back.
Labonte trying to keep pace with Greg Biffle. We're not sure what the fuel situation's looking like exactly right now. Oh, wow. Biffle goes a little wide.
He's looking to settle the score.
Into the S's. Labonte went wide in turn 1, it looked like. I don't know if Junior got in the back of him and slowed him up, but it looked like, I mean, that was a perfect opportunity for at least Labonte to get alongside Greg Biffle, and he just couldn't quite do it.
If he catches you, he might try to wreck you.
Oh. Almost overran turn 6. That was close. Looked away at the wrong time. Biffle's been getting really tight in turn 7 a lot today, too. He's trying to break the draft on Labonte again. It's going to be really close at the end of the race of who's going to lead the most laps between Greg Biffle and Tony Stewart. Nobody else has led laps today. Like Junior or Harvick might have had a shot there, and they just couldn't capitalize. Situation. Harvick got turned, then Junior tried to put Biffle in the wall as they were 3 wide for the lead, so Biffle just kind of ran him wide, then he got payback on Stewart by putting him in the wall off of 7 to get to the lead. I mean, that was just an insane chain of events there.
He's been talking about you on the radio.
Labonte's still keeping pace here. And Junior's been right behind Labonte every step of the way. Remember, Junior's been in the top 5 this whole race. Have to do a Madden career. I really, I'm still contemplating it. I second guess myself on whether or not I want to do another channel with other sports games and broadcast those, but I really want to focus on that. On top of that, I'm just scared that channel is going to grow faster than this just because more people watch football or basketball versus, NASCAR. I mean, that's just the way it is right now. So, I mean, I don't want that to outshine this. This channel's my baby, so.
He's got some revenge built up.
I think that's probably going to be something I'm going to hang on to. And, and way down the road when we get enough subscribers on this channel, I might do something like that where I'm doing like YouTube full time or something. If we can ever get to that point, that's where I would probably do it. But now is not the time. It would just give me more like things I have to do. Which, although it is the winter time, I'm not as busy. Once we get back into the summer, I'm not going to be able to keep up with 2 channels right now, on top of work and everything else I got to do. So yeah, it's just I just don't think now's the time for it. Talking about, yeah, I guess so. I think they're referring to Dale Jr. the whole time because Labonte's not a rival. That's kind of good that Labonte's in second, though. It gives a pit car in between. I don't know why Jr. put Biffle in the wall in the first place when they were 3 wide. He had to have known he was there, because he didn't put him in the wall till the center of turn 5. And then Biffle ran him back up the racetrack because he got put in the wall. Crazy chain of events. That might be the craziest chain of events I think we've seen in the middle of a race in the entire season. Oh, 31 races up to this point. Biffle has been pulling away from Labonte. I don't think Labonte's fast enough to stay in second, but the track position game with how hard it is to pass here is really paying off for him. Again, still one more pit stop to go today. Stewart's back to 5th. Dale Jarrett looking for a bounce-back performance in 4th. We've got 10 people watching currently right now. It has been a crazy race up to this point. 5 cautions in the first 58 laps here at the Glen. Biffle leading currently, trying to pull away from everybody else. Had a pit road speeding penalty earlier he came back from to get to the lead. There's been carnage. Jeff Gordon got drilled by, at the time, the race leader and the points leader, Tony Stewart, after he'd blown an engine going into turn 6. We saw a 3-wide battle for the lead under a caution flag where they were racing back to the yellow, and Harvick got turned off the front bumper of Biffle. Biffle turned his teammate Mark Martin for Martin putting him in the wall not once but twice. That was the first caution of the day back at, what, lap 12 was it? I don't even have F1 right now. Well, between that, I don't know if I want to do that, though, because, like, I'm so dedicated into this being a NASCAR-oriented channel. I'm not a huge fan of F1. And again, it kind of goes along with the other thing where I don't think now's the right time to start testing, like, something new, you know, with other sports. Like, I know that's another motorsport, but still, it's not the same. I wouldn't even know how to call it either, because I don't watch F1 enough to. I don't really know much terminology with it. It wouldn't really work out that well. That aspect of doing a realistic broadcast. So we're at lap 60. We might see some drivers start the short pit once again. I wouldn't be surprised. Nobody's pitted under any of the cautions today. Only that one green flag stop. Again, it was from the start of the race looking like a 2-stop race with all the cautions coming into play. It's kind of looked like that again. Racing Channel. I don't really have them. Whoa, we got another caution. So we have another accident, probably going through the bus stop, if I had to imagine. There's a lot of cars in the bus stop. And this is going to put everybody right on the pit window now. So those cautions we had earlier, throw them out the window. These guys are on the pit window as we speak. With a caution at lap 60, it's our 6th of the day. I don't think it's for debris. We'll have to see. Hermie Sadler. Oh, it is for debris. Looks like Hermie Sadler in the 0-2. I don't know how he got damage. And then there was a spin further off ahead as well for whatever reason. So Hermie Sadler's got damage from something that we have no clue how he has the damage. Somebody goes wide in the bus stop, up in smoke. And Biffle's going to hit pit road right here, right now. And I would have to imagine a lot of the field is coming onto pit road. So here's the money stop under caution. The final pit stop of the race. No adjustments coming for the 16. Seeing a lot of F1s on the chat. I'm just not a fan of F1. Like, I'd suck too. I'm good at road course racing with NASCAR because I know the tracks. It would take me so long. Like, I'd have to play the game for a couple weeks before I'd even like think about streaming it or playing it for the channel. So who will win the race off pit road? Quick stop by Biffle, but Labonte gonna win the race off pit road by an inch. Oh boy. So Labonte wins the race off pit road. Biffle will be second. Looks like we had one driver stay out of the pits. Probably somebody that might have pitted under green and lucked out with the caution. Ward Burton is in front. Into turn one, Biffle hits his marks perfectly. Labonte trying to get around Burton. Burton able to get some bonus points today, not in the championship hunt. We have another caution in turn one. So they're going to race back to the caution flag again. It's our 7th of the race. Lap 64. Biffle gasses it up in the bus stop. Tried to at least. Oh, Labonte goes a little wide on corner exit. Oh, there's a little contact. Biffle clears him up to second. Not sure if Ward Burton has pit or not. Labonte might try to pass Biffle back here in turn 6. Didn't get around him there. Biffle actually gains on, or pulls away from him a little bit. Biffle messes up in turn 7, got really loose in the wall. As they race back to the caution flag, I'm not sure what happened there. It skipped the replay. Or I don't know. I don't know how that happened. So it skipped the replay. We didn't even get to see what that caution was for, as it's our 7th of the race. Green flag back in the air, another restart. Biffle just can't take off through the gears very well in the restart. Gets through turn 1 really well, though. Ward Burton continues to lead. Can he win his first race of the year at that track position now? Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if the next NASCAR game is only for PS5. Or I'd imagine they'll still be making games for PS4. At least for the next couple years. I remember when the PS4 first came out, they were still making games for PS3 and PS4 for a couple years at least, like 2 or 3 years. So I'd imagine they probably do the same again, because not everybody's got a PS5. I mean, not everybody can even buy one right now, even if they want one, the way that's all working. So Ward Burton leads for the first time today. It's still close in laps led between Tony Stewart and Greg Biffle. So there's a fight there. 22 laps to go. That clean air advantage is huge for Ward Burton. Trying to go to victory lane for the first time this season. It would only be his 6th career win. And Burton's pulling away. Biffle doesn't have damage. Again, that clean air advantage is huge right now. Labonte all over the back bumper of Greg Biffle. He goes a little wide. Cuts back in front, though, and keeps Ryan Newman behind him. Newman is beating Tony Stewart by only one position. Oh, make it two. Or, sorry, no, it is one. I thought Newman jumped to second, or third, rather, for a second. But he did not. So 21 laps to go now this time by, and Ward Burton is pulling away with the clean air. A little wide in turn one. Labonte looked low, couldn't get the power down in time. Seems like the most passing we've had have been right on the restarts. That and racing back to the caution flag. Cautions have flown left and right today. Again, we've had 7 of them. 70 laps in. I mean, if this was any other racetrack, we'd still have a long ways to go. Labonte still all over the back of Biffle. A little wide there in turn 5. A good apex in the center of the corner, able to cut down though in front of Labonte and beat him back to the gas. These guys are good to go on fuel to the end of the race. Should be. Especially with that last caution. Last restart. Second to last restart. They're trying to break the draft on Labonte. He's doing whatever he can. He's 1.6 seconds off the lead. And the idea here, you want to get to the lead as soon as you can. Biffle wants to get to the lead as soon as he can. We don't know if we're going to get any more restarts and if he's going to struggle there again. We don't know when the caution flags could possibly wave today because they've flown left and right. Michael Turner, welcome to the stream. Yeah, they'll probably, I guarantee the next game, maybe even the next 2 NASCAR games will be PS4 still. Because they don't even have enough PS5s in stock for people to purchase right now as it is. It'd be foolish of them to only make games for PS5 going forward for the short term. Because that means that every new game they would come out with, nobody would be able to play it unless they had a PS5. There's so many people without one. Starting to rail in Ward Burton slowly but surely. Labonte still staying right on the back bumper of Greg Biffle as well. He's not going anywhere. 19 laps to go at Watkins Glen. Biffle has had bad luck on the road courses this year. This is the 4th and final road course race. Last shot to get a win on one this season. Labonte goes wide. In the bus stop again, really wide. Oh, he's in the wall! Labonte got the wall. Ryan Newman's underneath him now, trying to get around him for third. A lot of time lost for both of those guys. That really kind of shuffled the pack back a little bit more behind Biffle. And that makes it a one-on-one race for the meantime between the 22 and the 16. Can alternate through the different camera angles. One final time now in today's race. Still 1.5 back. 3 seconds between first and third. Wow, Biffle just could not get the car to turn. Going through the S's, and he's going to lose even more time again to Ward Burton. Lack of track position. We saw his car handling at least a little bit better when he had the clean air, and that's why he's able to drive away every time he gets to the lead. Dirty air is a factor here today. As we mentioned at the start of the race, that it would probably be the case, especially with how hard it is to pass in this game, and especially on the road courses in this game. 10 people watching right now. Late stage here or I should say at Watkins Glen. A NASCAR Thunder 2004. Be coming to 17 laps to go this time. Crazy race up to this point. Onyx just not able to gain that ground back on Biffle again. Choppy this racetrack is, really bumpy. Saw that when we went through the camera angles the first time earlier in the race. Biffle got through the bus stop perfectly that time. About as perfect as he could have. Ward Burton played the track position game about as perfectly as he could. He was the first driver to hit pit road back at lap 60. Nobody else pitted when he did. That's what gave him the race lead. Everybody pitted under the caution that came out on that lap. Biffle slides into turn 7. Barely keeps it off the wall. I mean, he's driving really hard to try and catch him right now. And that track position almost just seems to be a little too much for anybody to really catch. It's definitely worth the investment there, Tim. I'll tell you that much. Been enjoying this season, even though we haven't had the best of luck. A race like this, I mean, I know it's been kind of chaotic, a little too chaotic for my liking, as far as the NASCAR race goes. But it's a video game, and at the end of the day, we're here to have fun. We got a slow car on the racetrack going into turn 6. Somebody's blowing an engine. Now into turn 7, it looks like, not too far ahead of Ward Burton. Are they going to get to pit road in time? So maybe... Oh, Burton! He didn't pit early. Never mind. Biffle in the lead here at the Glen. So Ward Burton could not make it to the end of the race. 15 laps to go. He's on pit road. Biffle's got the lead and hoping it stays green. I am very surprised he stayed out as long as he did. I wonder why he didn't pit with everybody else. Maybe he was hoping for a caution fest like we had up until that point. That's going to give Biffle... Oh, and now we have a caution. Jeez, old Pete. That is the 8th of the race. They race back to the caution flag. Caution is out for somebody here. Well, never mind. This race isn't over yet. Ward Burton's just lost his track position. Kyle Button, welcome to the stream. This is unbelievable. Yeah, I did buy mine on Amazon. Oh, man, really wide in 6. Pay attention there, Keegan. We're going to race back to the caution flag. We're going to see what this 8th caution's for. We got right into the wall. So here we go. Caution's out again. Oh, wow. Debris off of Ryan Newman. I didn't think he had damage. Now I'm trying to figure... So we got 2 guys out there without a hood. Tony Stewart and Ryan Newman now. I don't know where the damage came on Ryan Newman's car. He's running in 3rd now. Just enough to bring out the caution and bunch the field back together. 13 people watching. Stay tuned, everybody. This could be a wild restart. We've had nothing but wild restarts here today. And the green flag is back in the air. 11 laps to go at Watkins Glen. Biffle trying to block. Bobby Labonte made contact. Tried to block him. He made contact. Now runs wide. And Ryan Newman is in the lead. Stewart all over the back of the 16. Side by side through the S's between Biffle and Newman. Who's going to get the drive? Oh, Biffle's in the wall. Stewart trying to get by. Oh, they get into each other in the bus stop. Biffle and Stewart. Into turn 5. Biffle almost gets wiped out by Stewart. They're 3 wide for third. Jimmy Johnson out of nowhere is up to third place as he gets around Labonte and Stewart. Well, he hasn't cleared Stewart yet. There's contact in the bus stop, accidental between Greg Biffle and Tony Stewart. Stewart tried to retaliate, getting into turn 5 and tried to turn Greg Biffle. And all of a sudden, it's Ryan Newman in the lead, the driver who brought out the last caution. 10 laps to go at the Glen. That is unbelievable. Newman brought out the last yellow for debris. He's in the lead. Johnson's up to third. He's probably got the cleanest race car in the top 5 right now, damage-wise. What a move he made on Stewart Labonte after Stewart went wide trying to take out Biffle again. And we've had cautions flying left and right today. We don't know if we're going to get another one. So these guys have to race back as far as they can. That's huge for Ryan Newman. He is second in points coming into the day, back on Stewart. What a win this would be for him, with only 5 races to go in the season after this one concludes. Fuel no issue the rest of the race. And if a caution comes out with 4 laps or less to go, the race is over once they race back to the line. So any opportunity Biffle's got to get around Newman, he's got to take it, especially with how hard it is to pass on this racetrack, especially in the clean air. We've really only seen passing. Racing back to the caution flag and on the restarts. 9 to go. Stick with the far chase cam for the rest of this race. Biffle just trying to get a draft off of him, doing whatever he can, really. Biffle trying to back up the bus stop. Oh, that didn't work at all. In the wall. Pretty hard, too. He really messed up the bus stop, not only going in, obviously got back to the gas a little too soon because of it. Gets in the wall on exit as well. Now the left front is severely damaged on the 16 of Biffle. So he's going to have to be careful there as he's going to try to get around Newman. We know Newman's going to block for his life late. I mean, this is going to be tough for Biffle to get back into this thing. 8 to go. He's only 1 second back. It's not over, but in the dirty air. Wow, he got through turn 1 really well. Beats Newman back to the gas. Pushing hard now through the S's. He's going to gain time here as well. Newman not off to a good start this lap. A lot of ground gain in the bus stop again there for Biffle. Altogether, this lap is so much faster than Newman's. He was a second back at the line. And off of turn 5, he's all over the back bumper of Ryan Newman now. Trying to draft him. When will he try to get around him? Into turn 6. Oh, little bump! Maybe gonna take a run. Into 7. That didn't work. 7 laps to go for Newman. 0.6 of a second faster that last lap there for Biffle. Couple car lengths back, drives it in deep into turn 1 again, trying to beat him back to the gas. He's gonna have to be really careful if he's gonna pass to the right of Newman with how damaged that left front is. Oh, Newman hits him! Newman hits him as he tries to hold on to the lead and does. So Newman just door checks Biffle trying to hang on to the lead. Biffle now tries to back up the bus stop. Man, he really kind of undercut it on the exit there, but no penalty. All over the back of the 12. Trying to get him loose. Oh, they're both wide! Oh my goodness! What a close call for both drivers. They almost ended up in the wall. Oh, that might have ended Biffle's day with how damaged the left front is. Oh my goodness. I'll take your breath away. Oh man, barely kept it off the wall again, off of 7. Loses time that lap, 6 to go. Johnson still in third, still 2.3 back. Don't count him out of it. So these guys are going back and forth here. Newman had Biffle alongside of him. Door checked him, and now we get a caution with 6 to go. And it's a race back to the caution flag, our 9th caution of the race. This is not going to be the last lap, but this will only give us 2 to go on the restart. Biffle drives it in deep into the bus stop. He needs to get around him. He's not good on the restarts. He's underneath him into turn 5. Newman again with the block, but he wasn't clear. Made contact. Biffle now to the lead. Off of turn 5 and tries to hang on. Is Newman going to give him the bumper back? Into turn 6. Newman goes a little wide. Biffle's going to hang on to the lead to the caution flag. And I believe we're only going to have 2 laps to go when we go green. What a race. Debris off of Tony Stewart. Man, that car's beat up. Running in 5th. Remember, that debris caution off Newman is what gave him the lead, or at least a chance for the lead, to the restart. So caution with 6 to go. I'm shaking right now because this is going to get really crazy here. Biffle's going to try to hold on to it. We've got Newman and Stewart without hoods in the top 5. Biffle's got pretty damaged left front. We're going to have about 2 laps to go on the restart. Newman trying to... So Biffle's led the most laps now. He's clinched it under caution, so it will be a max point stay if he can get the win. Green flag back in the air. Newman to the inside, into turn 1. He gets a better launch than Biffle. Oh, hard onto the brakes. Newman back out in front again. Biffle holds on to second. Johnson is there. Remember, he needs payback on Johnson, too. Side by side. Through the S's, they made it. Biffle's loose. Got really loose trying to get back to the gas. Now trying to back up the bus stop. A little bump. Oh, and he moves him. He moved him out of the way. Biffle out in front. The bump and run. White flag this time by. No cautions on the last lap in this game for whatever reason. So it will be a race back to the checker. Biffle's got the clean air now. Trying to break the draft. It's going to be tough to get him back. Into turn 1. Perfect corner by Biffle. He's got the clean air now. Unbelievable. Now he just can't make a mistake. So he just clinched the most laps led, leading under caution there. So that was big for him to get around Newman. I don't know if he would have been able to do it without it. Without those extra laps led under the yellow. For a back-to-back max points day and back-to-back wins, Biffle is 3 corners away from victory. What a race. Go. Beating and banging all day long. It was kind of a wreck fest throughout. 9 cautions total. But in the end, Biffle has survived the day. Through all the carnage, and Greg Biffle will win on a road course for the first time in his career. What a race. Biffle wins at the Glen. Wow. Wow. And it is time to celebrate. Fourteenth win of the season. And that might have been the most difficult race for him to win all year. Points contenders were out front late in the wild card race. Proved to be wild. Here today. Burning it down till the engine gave out in the victory celebration. Unbelievable. Maybe the biggest win of the season for Greg Biffle. I will show the points. What a win. Not a lot of ground gained in the points despite the max points day for Greg Biffle. I believe Tony Stewart still finished in the top 5. He was at least 5th coming to the white flag. Not sure exactly where he fell in the last couple laps. And he also led a lot of laps today. Didn't lead the most, but he would have gotten 5 bonus points there. A lot of rivals made today. But Greg Biffle will get to hoist the trophy in victory lane. Yes, Stewart does end up with the top 5. We'll take you through the finishing results. Biffle leads 46 laps today. Another max points day there. Qualified 3rd. And, boy, was it crazy. Oh, we had 10. So we had 10 cautions, not 9. We had 10 cautions for 30 caution laps. So a third of the race was ran under caution. Unbelievable. Ryan Newman finishes 2nd. Jimmy Johnson 3rd, followed by Bobby Labonte 4th. And Tony Stewart rounds out the top 5. Johnny Benson finishes 6th. Matt Kenseth 7th. Dale Jr. 8th. 9th was Jeff Burton, and Bill Elliott rounds out the top 10. Stewart led 26 laps today, so he actually didn't lead as much as I thought he did, but he definitely still led almost a third of the race. Newman led laps late there, led 5 of them. Man. Ward Burton led 13 laps there with the track position, and he was actually on fresh tires, able to drive from the rear of the field to 14th. So, I mean, it worked as far as that went. I'm not sure where he was running before that had happened. Obviously, the caution kind of saved him, too. Those last couple cautions, bunching them back together a couple times. Ricky Rudd DNF today with an engine failure. Stanton Barrett had an engine failure. Jeff Gordon had an engine failure, then got ran over by Tony Stewart, which brought out a caution earlier in the race. Harvick had an engine failure. That's a tough break for him. He was 4th in points coming in. So that will drop him back likely, maybe even outside of the top 5. I'm not entirely sure. Rusty Wallace DNF'd. Ricky Craven DNF'd. Jack Sprague, we saw him blow an engine. He DNF'd. So we had 7 drivers that failed to finish today's race. Unbelievable. Yeah, this game does have a trophy room. I'm not sure what exact games have the trophy room in the EA. Does every EA game have that? Or like every game from this game on? Or I think 05 has one, but I don't know after that point if they actually kept the trophy room or not. We'll take a look at it real quick. 14 wins on the year. We'll take a look at the point standings first, though, because that's more important at the end of the day. Again, Biffle didn't gain that many points. It's still, I mean, it's an even longer shot. Again, Biffle back-to-back wins, but in those back-to-back wins, Stewart finished 3rd and 5th. So, I mean, he's not really gaining much ground. He needs him to DNF probably 2 or 3 times to get back into it. We still have 5 races to go. Stewart still has a 103-point lead over Newman. Newman able to gain 15 points for out-finishing him, but it's going to take more than that to get back into it. Dale Jarrett still third in points. Junior's up to fourth. He came in fifth. Harvick came in fourth. He's still, or I should say he drops back to fifth now in the standings. Matt Kenseth is sixth. Again, big gap there in between fifth and sixth, and then another big gap between sixth and seventh. Ricky Rudd, seventh in points. Greg Biffle moves up 2 spots in the standings from 10th to 8th, ahead of Johnson and Martin. What a race. Only games that have a trophy room are 05 and 04. Gotcha. Yeah, those are the only 2 I knew of that had it. 707 back, so let me get the calculator on my laptop again here. Means I'm using my phone as the camera. I can't really use that, so. Alright, so 707 points back. Divided by 151. We have 5 races to go on the season. We're not mathematically out of it yet, so we will be running tomorrow at Phoenix. We'll see what's going to happen. There's a lot of payback that Biffle needs to get back at, too. Stewart put him in the wall twice. Dale Jr. put him in the wall. Still have to get payback on Johnson. I guess it's even between us and Ryan Newman because we were kind of trading back and forth. We were battling for the win there, and we ended up winning the race with the bump and run at the end, so that obviously helps us as well. So I'll consider us even with that, but he's probably still upset with us. So we're 4.6 races back. So unless Tony Stewart DNFs, or I mean I should say, unless he doesn't have to DNF, but man, finally, sane president, welcome to the stream. He's one of the old school capture cards. You can hook up PS2, whatever console. Instead of composite. Gotcha. Thanks for that. So we're quite a bit of points out. It's going to take a lot. Biffle's not mathematically out of it yet. I believe the top 10 are mathematically still in. It was 16, but Tony Stewart, another strong top 5 once again here today. Let's take a look at Tony Stewart's stats so far this season to show why he's got a big points lead. He's only got 1 win on the year, but he's got 13 top 5s and 20 top 10s in 31 races. So he's finished in the top 10 all but 11 times. His average finish is 10.2. I guess he's not having as strong of a season as I thought. I mean, he's obviously having a strong season, but Stewart looking for back-to-back championships here. $926. Yeah, out of the championship. Okay. So at the end of the next race, I guess I should have looked that up on my calculator too. See how many points back we have to be to mathematically have a shot still. So 151 times, guess we'll have 4 races left after Phoenix tomorrow. 604. So we have to be 604 points back at the end of this next race mathematically to have a shot still to win the championship in the final 4 races. And we were, 707 back? So we have to... Oh, my goodness. So, yeah, we have to gain 103 points on Stewart in the next race alone just to stay in the championship hunt one more, at least another race after that. I mean, our shot... Again, I said it after we DNF'd at Bristol and Talladega back-to-back, that was pretty much it. Even though we've won the last 2 races with max point stays, that pretty much did it. Remember, Stewart DNF'd in that one race at Bristol, the same race we did. If we just could have won that race, I mean, that alone would have gained us 151 points. And then If we could have won Talladega, too, because Stewart finished... Where did he finish at Talladega? Like 30th or something like that? I know he didn't finish that well. Because that's how Dale Jarrett caught back up to him in points, just to lose him again. Tough break. Next stream is going to be tomorrow. NASCAR Thunder 04 will be at Phoenix Raceway. Phoenix tomorrow, and it will be at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we're going back to a little bit later start times for during the week. We're not going to be starting them any earlier than 6 o'clock anymore. During the week, at least. On the weekends, we'll still be running afternoon when we can. So thanks for everybody tuning in here today. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We do these full race live streams with a realistic broadcast every day. We had a lot of people watching throughout the course of the stream, but only 5 likes, so hit the like button down below. It was a crazy race throughout, so that way it'll help with the algorithm and getting these kinds of streams and videos recommended under other NASCAR content on YouTube. So that will help us reach out to new viewers as well. So like, share, subscribe as usual. And again, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. We'll be at Phoenix on NASCAR Thunder 04. It might be the final race of the season on NASCAR Thunder 2004 if we can't gain 103 points, because I'm not going to run the final 4 races with the full length knowing that our season is over. As long as we have the Rookie of the Year locked up again. So... see who's second in the Rookie of the Year standings. Yeah, we got a big lead now. We really pulled away. McMurray didn't have as strong of a season, so McMurray's 31st. Yeah, we've got the Rookie of the Year almost mathematically locked up. Once we have that locked up, so we have to have a 604-point lead over McMurray after the next race. Is a very good chance we're going to lock up the Rookie of the Year after the next race as well. So once we have that locked up and we're out of the championship mathematically, we'll start season 2. So thanks everybody for watching. Again, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow at 7 o'clock.